Hello, I am Prashant Pandya, and today we will go with the class of object oriented programming language. Now, in this class, first of all, we have to understand what is an object. In our daily routine, we come into the touch with numbers of objects. Say, since morning to evening, many objects appear in front of our eyes. I am taking one very simple example. Say car. Car is an object. Now we have to program it. This object car. So we will learn how we can program the concept of that car by using OOPS concept, that is object oriented programming systems. So here I have write one simple program name car. Now in this program I have taken three variable: brand, color, and speed of the car, and declared it as a private. So it means it has got a private access. Outside this class, I will explain you later what is outside of the class. That is when we will inherit it. The attribute which is declared as a private cannot be used if it is declared as a private. So it is for the security reason. And outside the class, when we have one has to use this attribute, suppose private string brand, we have to use it outside the scope of the class. In that case, we have to create one property name public string brand. So it will give get and set features. And using get and set features, user of this or implementer of this class can implement the brand of car. So first the user will create object from the class by giving the keyword car. Here car is our class, which is an architect. You can say it's a blueprint. And by using that blueprint, user has created new object named car and passed two parameter, Toyota and blue. Okay. So technically it is called the calling multiple parameter inside the constructor. So what is calling parameter inside the constructor? What is class? What is object? We try to understand it step by step. So first of all, I would like to explain you the basic features of object-oriented programming language. So in object-oriented programming language, basically there are four concepts. First one is the encapsulation. Second is the inheritance. Third, polymorphism. Fourth is the abstractions. Now we will understand here what is encapsulation. Now in this code you can see that private, public, these all are these all are the encapsulations mechanisms of object-oriented programming language. Suppose we change property. This is a constructor. What is constructor? How it will be created? Why it has to be created? This all are not the scope of our today period, but for the sake of understanding, you just see the wonder of encapsulation mechanism. So here I change here. First, I will run this class as it is. It is running nicely. Now, I am changing this modifier to private. Now see the mechanism or see the result. It will throw an error. Why? Because it is not providing access to the external class name program. In the entry point of main, while we try to call car, my car, new car, my car gets the value of new car, and we try to, and I have passed the parameter Toyota and blue. But here the access of a car is prohibited because I have changed it to private. Again, I am putting it to the I am converting it as a public and try to run the code again. It will run as it is. So this mechanism is called encapsulation. Okay. So I will explain you what is the definition of encapsulation. So in technical word, we can say like that. Encapsulation means building together the data. That is a property, methods, that's functions that operate on that data within a single unit, object or class. It hides the internal working of an object and only expose what is necessary for the other part of a program to interact with it. If we say if we have to say what is object, then we can say like that objects are like a thing you can see, interact in a real life, such as a car, a dog, or a computer. In programming, objects are like a container that hold both data and function that work with that data. And classes are like a blueprint or a template of a creating objects. They define the structure and behavior, that is a property and method that object will have. So we have cleared the concept about the object, class, and encapsulation. Now we proceed further with inheritance. What is inheritance? Inheritance allows a new class, that is a child class, to inherit property and method from an existing parent class. It helps in reusing code and organizing classes in a hierarchy. Once again, we go further with an example so we can understand it better. Let me permit 1 minute. Now, I have shared my screen to you again. You can see I am clear these previous results. I have rewrite this class, and here instead of creating car directly, I have created one new class, that is a one new blueprint with a view to implement, to show you the mechanism of inheritance, how it works in practically. So I have declared one new modifier, access modifier, protected, that is a protected string brand, and here is a protected. So instead of using private, I have used protected. Okay, what is the use of protected? I will explain you in further periods. But here, for the scope of this class, we are now at this point we have to understand inheritance only. So here in vehicle, I have declared 3 field and the constructor and method, and implement it outside the class. Okay. Now here car is inheriting this colon. This colon is a syntax of a SISA to inherit parent class. Here vehicle is a parent class and car is a child class. So car inherit vehicle. So car will automatically carry all the properties, all the method of its parent class vehicle. And here, rather than implementing vehicle directly, user can implement car and use all the property of its of the class, its own class car as well as vehicle. You can see here car, my car, that I have used it. Now you can see that all these methods are not, even though not implemented in this vehicle, sorry, in car, uh, but we can use it or we can implement it in our program. So this is called inheritance. Okay. So now I am explaining you the definition of inheritance. Exactly what is inheritance? I have introduced inheritance by creating a base class vehicle and derived class car. The car class inherit from the vehicle class, which means it inherit all the property method defined in the vehicle class. Okay. Base class vehicle, derived class, base class is a vehicle, derived class is a car, and object creation and manipulation is we have created an object my car of a car class and demonstrate how to access and manipulate property and method. So now we are moving further with the third concept, polymorphism. Now what is polymorphism? So polymorphism is, again, we are going to the code so we can understand the concept very well. Here you can see that inside this constructor, I have passed two parameters. Here, if I want to write this vehicle constructor again, or a method again, what is method and what is constructor? Again, I am telling you, it is not the scope of our current class. But suppose I am declaring it as like this, and if I introduce integer year, so this is called, I have introducing one another features and try to run the program. So you can see that with previous constructor, object is functioning as it is. Because I have not implemented this new constructor. But if I will implement it, then I can implement it with the integer year also. So we can parallel, I have overridden the vehicle with a, rather than 2 parameter to 3 parameter. And this is called polymorphic behavior. That is the overriding of an object-oriented programming language. So we understand theoretically what is polymorphism. So polymorphism is method overloading. And in the car, in the car class, the display info method override the same method in the vehicle class in the polymorphism in action. And the display method is declared as a virtual in a vehicle class and overridden in a car class using override keyword. This allows the car class to provide the own implementation of a display info specialization for car when the display info method is called on a car object, and the overridden method in a car class is invoked demonstrating polymorphic behavior. So this is what the polymorphic behavior. Now, our last concept of object-oriented programming language, that is an encapsulation. So that is, that is an abstraction. So what is an abstraction? So we can achieve abstraction by encapsulating complex implementation detail of how the car accelerate and brake. The accelerate and the brake methods provide a simple interface of interacting with car speed without exposing the internal working of these actions. How I am practically implemented, that is I am showing you on the screen by showing the code. Please permit me 1 minute. You can see here the implementation of abstractions in this code. This is all for my today class, and we will go into the detail for the same concept in our next class. Thank you. That's all.